welcome to Bearcat Update. I'm Alex Sanchez.
And I'm Jenny James. This week we are on location here at Hughes Fieldhouse as Northwest is hosting their fourth and final indoor meet, the Indoor Conference Championships.
The track team opened up their track and field season with a new coach, unsure how they would compete, but after months of preparation and several indoor meets, the team has hit many record marks.
The meet is closing up with the last race, so let's throw it down to the other end of the track to our BCU analyst John Walker for the conference championship results.
Alex, Jenny, thanks guys. You can tell the environment in here, even after the meet, is still popping off the charts, as some of the hip kids would say, I guess. Anyways, it was an awesome environment, especially heading down the stretch into the last few events where they pretty much determined who was going to win the meet on both the men's and women's side. So awesome environment all weekend. I had a chance to talk to some of the Northwest track and field athletes and what it meant for them to host the MIAA Indoor Championships. And they said hosting it was something special beyond belief. That heading into the third and final day of the tournament, it really gave them that extra little boost that they needed in some situations where you wouldn't really have that in a hostile environment on the road. Some notable performances and record-breaking performances. Heba Magoob, you had Kevin Schultz break the record, the MIAA record for most points scored in a heptathlon. Omar Austin coming out of the blocks and breaking the MIAA record for the fastest 400-meter dash of all time with a final time of 46.49. And then Jordan Hammond is possibly on her way to nationals. Alex and Jenny, I will let you guys get back to that. So from the Hughes Fieldhouse, Alex, Jenny, back to you guys.
Thanks, John. In 2 weeks, several of the Northwest athletes will be headed to Kansas to compete at the Division II Nationals. After some hot competition at conference, they are sure to represent Northwest well at Nationals in 2 weeks.
We are going to take a quick break, but stick around. We are not done talking about Northwest track and field just yet. You're watching Bearcat Update on KNWT Channel 8. Welcome back to Bearcat Update. This week on Bearcat Boulevard, we are joined by thrower Josh Warner. Josh, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So what has it been like to be able to host the Indoor Conference Championships this year?
Well, I'll tell you what, actually, this facility has allowed us to practice better. I mean, it's just to host it, the energy in here, all the Northwest fans is crazy. It's probably one of the best conferences I've been at.
And you did compete today. Tell us a little bit about how you did.
Well, I got a PR today. I provoed, so that's good. I have some more in the tank, and I'm just going to save that for outdoor. But overall, I got 10th. One was like 6 inches away from making finals, so I was a little bummed about that, but it's good going into outdoor.
Josh, being a junior, kind of discussed, you're kind of the older on the team, so how do you kind of help your younger teammates and just lead them?
Well, one of the biggest things with like younger guys, we're moving up in their weight on the implements, and it's a struggle. I mean, you don't throw as far as you did in high school. You don't have those PRs right away. I mean, it's definitely a struggle. It's just, we get in the weight room, we work hard, and then we practice, and we practice for 2 hours at a time. I mean, it's just constant work.
And for the people that don't know, tell us a little about how the difference between outdoor and indoors.
Okay, so for like on the track, I mean, indoor is usually a 300-meter track. Sometimes we go to 200. And for the runners, like usually times all get faster. The banks get a little bit wider, so it's easier to run faster. So, but for the throws, indoor we throw on mostly board rings, so it's pretty slick and it's not as grippy. But for outdoor, we go to all cement rings, and that helps a lot. I mean, and then we also get rid of weight and we get to throw some hammer and actually get some distance on our implements.
What are you hoping to accomplish moving into outdoor season?
Well, I'm definitely wanting to move up at my rank in conference for shot. Disc is my favorite. I mean, I was injured last year. Hopefully I'm able to come in and get an actual qualifying mark for nationals, and we'll see about that. But hammer, I think I can get up there too. It's going to be a struggle, but hammer will definitely be a lot better this year.
And being a student athlete, tell us a little about how it is to balance out being a student athlete and just a regular student.
I'll tell you what, I mean, we put in 3 hours a day at practice and plus lifting. You do that on top of classes. I mean, you gotta be on it. I mean, there's no time for a lot of partying. I mean, you just go. you just go in and you practice, and then for me personally, I go to bed around 10 o'clock every night. Just got to get that sleep in, got to eat, and go to bed.
Absolutely.
You mentioned like hammer and weight throw and all this other stuff. So is the training a little different for all of those?
Yes. For shot put, it's pretty much the same indoor, outdoor. I mean, that's the same. But for hammer compared to weight, hammer's a lot faster. I mean, it's probably twice as fast, and you have a longer ball, and it doesn't weigh as much, so you can throw it close to 200 feet. And then disc, on the other hand, is different than shot form because you get a bigger circle, you can drive a little farther, and it ends up going farther. So
that's awesome. Josh, congratulations today, and we look forward to seeing how you do in the outdoor season.
Thank you.
That is all the time we have on Bearcat Boulevard, but stick around. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be back on Bearcat Update on KNWT Channel 8.
Welcome back to Bearcat Update. Our Northwest basketball team is closing up their regular season, and several of the boys sitting on top of the conference stats list.
Senior Joey Wittes is sitting on top of the conference with several stats: #1 in three-point percentage, #1 in three-pointers per game, #6 in scoring, and #8 in field goal percentage. Our reporter Nolan Brooks caught up with Joey at the beginning of the season to see what he had coming against the MIAA conference. Nolan?
After transferring to Northwest, senior forward Joey Wittes has morphed into a leading scorer role. I caught up with Wittes to see how he changed into the player that he is now.
Yeah, I think I've had kind of a different role than I was at Mankato, where, there, especially just being a freshman, I kind of came in just being a shooter, where here Coach Mack has allowed me to, show different aspects of my game and stuff, and, having the trust of my teammates that, they give me the ball and scoring positions and stuff is a huge thing.
From a coaching perspective, Wittes' scoring ability is much more complex. Assistant coach Zach Schneider feels that Wittes brings a lot more to the table overall.
Offensive talent, obviously, was the biggest thing. I mean, there's times you can run great offense and everything, but sometimes you just need a dude to go get you a bucket like Justin would. And he's one of those guys, late shot clock situations, we'll kind of just ISO him at the top of the key or on the block and kind of let him go to work and let the skill set and all of his hard work take over. So I'd say that, and then he's been a great culture guy too. He's really stepped in and been a great leader as a senior when we only have two, so he's done a great job in all aspects.
However, there is a huge difference between the Minnesota State program and Northwest program. So what exactly has Northwest provided for Wittes that he didn't have at Minnesota State?
Not so much just my game on the court, but just that leadership role, like you said. Having those seniors last year to kind of teach me how to lead and what it takes to lead and what it takes to, show up and work hard every day was really important. So I'm hoping that with some of the younger guys that we have on the team this year, I'm able to relay that same message to them and, just show that you got to be in the gym getting shots up and, doing the extra thing if you want to win.
Wittes has evolved into a prominent leader and scorer, a role for Northwest that fits his game perfectly. For Bearcat Update, I'm Nolan Brooks.
Thanks, Nolan. The men's team had an exciting weekend. First, the Cats traveled to Warrensburg, Missouri to compete against Central Missouri. Nothing has changed for the Cats as they sailed over the Mules. Trevor Hudgens with 21 points and the Cats shooting 50%.
They limited the Mules to only 26.7% shooting in the second half. They took the game 64-49. This win gives Northwest the regular season MIAA title 6 years in a row. Also, Hudgens was on track to set a new conference record of consecutive free throws made. He hit 3 more this game to take him to 36, a Northwest record and tying the conference record, but missed his 37th.
On Saturday, the girls went off from the three-point line, dropping in a solid 15 three-pointers. Jalen Haggard led the girls with 20 points and hitting 6 threes of her own. The Cats couldn't hang on and fell to Southwest Baptist 79-66. Both the men and women will be in Bearcat Arena on Tuesday to take on the rival Missouri Western for senior night.
On another note, Friday, our Northwest tennis team traveled to Iowa to kick off their spring season. Our reporter Dylan Johnson caught some of the athletes before their trip. Dylan?
Bearcat tennis is back in the swing of things, coming off a third-place Nationals finish in the fall from Franco Oliva. The men finished last season with a 10-9 record, while the women finished 10-13. Sophomore Agustin Velasco hopes the team gain more experience from their previous season.
We were like a young team. I was a freshman. I didn't have a lot of experience playing as a team and also in this format. but this year we can do it better.
Also, with the new Hughes Fieldhouse, the team can have more satisfaction with the quality of their practices.
Right now we have more space to move and to practice other stuff like doubles. In Lankin we didn't have enough space on the outside the court. Now we can play more hours.
Each person trying to improve their weak points, so I think this facility helps us a lot.
The team needs to focus on working together as they head into their spring season.
I think in the ladies team, we are really good individually. Each one of us can do really well in their position, but I think we need to improve the team notion.
Don't look too far, so I think that's really important. Just focus each match.
One match at a time, the Cats look toward success, building off their fall season. Reporting for Bearcat Update, I'm Dylan Johnson.
Thanks, Dylan. The women opened their season a 4-1 victory over Maryville University. The girls had several singles wins but swept the doubles competition. The men's trip was about the same. Number 4 nationally ranked Franco Oliva and number 46 Fabian Kalud both dominated their matches. Another singles match and 2 more wins in doubles competition gives the Cats a 4-2 victory over Maryville University.
Friday, the Cats traveled to Oklahoma to compete in a 3-game series against the Riverhawks. In Game 1, with several runs already on the board, Connor Quick took the bat and knocked a grand slam in the 6th, bringing the Cats up 8-0. The Cats won 8-4, giving Quentin Van Ackeren another W to add to his record. Game 2 was a little different, going back and forth. The Cats dropped to the Riverhawks 12-8 after Northeastern State pounded 4 home runs. After a win from Game 3, the Cats leave Tahlequah with a 6-7 record.
The Cats were set to bring some competition to Bearcat Field, but with the amount of snow piling up outside, this series against Central Oklahoma has been moved down south. Now that's the end of our show, but first let's take a look at our top picks for the week.
The softball team had their entire Emporia tournament canceled last weekend, so I'm sure they are eager to take the field again. This weekend they head down south for the Missouri Southern Tournament with 5 games on their schedule. With a 2-4 start to their season, I'm curious to see how they can improve their record with these upcoming games.
Yeah, I agree. Both our men's and women's tennis teams open up their season with a hot start, so I'm excited to see how some nationally ranked players and the rest of the team will continue to compete as they head over to take on Jury in Joplin, Missouri on Friday, in Indianapolis and Springfield, Missouri on Saturday.
Lastly, we want to give a big birthday shout out to our BCU reporter Nolan Brooks. Happy birthday, Nolan. Thanks for tuning into this week's episode of Bearcat Update. You can follow us on Twitter at BearcatUpdate_8.
Or watch all of our previous episodes on YouTube at KNWT 8. Thanks for watching and have a great night. Thanks for watching this week's episode of Bearcat Update.
You can catch last week's episode up here or all of our previous episodes down here. Thanks, check it out.